Every graduate has a story, but for one, her journey wasn't easy.
Really, by the end of it, you have a family.
Tonight, she shares how her sister played a major role in her education.
After some heavy rainfall earlier this morning, we're looking at more heavy rainfall for parts of next week. We'll break down the percentages coming up.
And terrifying moments on an amusement park ride.
It started rocking back and forth, and then it came to a complete stop.
The 1-minute thrill ride stranding students sky high for hours. KVUE News Night Beat starts right now. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Chris Betts. One chapter is closed and another has opened for UT students tonight. The official commencement ceremony ended moments ago with fireworks stealing the show. Students graduating today heard from former Dallas Police Chief David Brown. He was selected by the students to give the commencement speech, and here was his message.
Some of the people who criticize and divide the most need to be served the most. Congratulations, 2017 graduating class of the University of Texas at Austin. Raise them high, raise them high. What starts here changes the world. Hook 'em horns, and I'll see you at dinner.
We will hear more from Brown in a moment, but the Night Beat's Nicole Rosales is joining us now live on campus. And Nicole, more than 9,000 students graduated today, but there was one in particular that stood out to you.
Yes, Chris, you know, every student has their own story, their own struggle, something that helps create their path for them. And although we'll be able to hear from each student tonight, we will hear from one, Cecilia Lopez. She's a nursing graduate now, who says that her sister was the person who inspired her to enter the field of nursing.
As growing up, I knew I wanted to do something with, health, science, something like that. And then when I was 14 years old, my sister, Natalia, got diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia.
Natalia spent several months at the Children's Hospital in Houston, and she eventually got a bone marrow transplant, but relapsed just 98 days later.
She ended up in the pediatric ICU for a few weeks and unfortunately passed away in October of 2009. And so, that experience, it was definitely life-changing.
Lopez feels although the experience was something that no family should ever go through, she still can remember the good times at the hospital, particularly with her sister's nurses.
We would play jokes on them, or have them tell us stories, or we tell them stories. And now looking back and knowing all the responsibilities nurses have to do, I'm in awe that they had time to do all that.
She goes on to say that these nurses became her sister's confidant, and now she hopes that she can be the exact same thing for another family. Lopez graduated with honors on Friday, so she will be part of the ICU nursing staff at Dallas Children's Hospital. Eventually, she hopes to become a pediatric oncology nurse. So the commencement is over. It ended around 10 o'clock tonight, and those fireworks, Chris, they really set off the mood for graduates here and families. They just are exiting the main mall area, going into downtown. So if you're going out tonight, just be mindful that it is going to be a little more congested than usual. Live at UT, Nicole Rosales, KVUE News Night Beat.
Yeah, they have a lot of celebrating to do. Thank you, Nicole. Well, he was selected by the students to give the commencement speech, and before the big ceremony today, we sat down with him to hear his story. We sat down with David Brown. You'll remember Brown was a 33-year-old veteran of Dallas Police Department, but he gained national attention last year for his leadership and his strength during the deadly shooting on police last July. 5 officers were killed in that shooting. Brown told us he's actually a former UT alum, but he never graduated. Instead, he left during his senior year to join the Dallas Police Department after seeing the crack cocaine epidemic sweeping through his home. Brown says his goal this year was to motivate the next generation into civil service.
This is the perfect time to be alive right now, going into Hamilton, I think. I think this is the perfect time to serve. And I want to be that foundation, that underbelly of pushing these folks toward what I think is their future.
Since his retirement, Brown has been writing a book that is due out in June, and he's been working as a contributor on ABC News. New Braunfels police looking for the people they say robbed a drugstore last night. Officers responded to a robbery just before 10 p.m. at the Walgreens on North Business I-35. Police say 2 men wearing masks entered the store and approached the cashier with weapons. One man took cash out of the register while the other stood by the store's entrance. Authorities say the 2 ran away. No one was hurt, but if you saw anything, you're asked to call police. A city employee facing child pornography charges after investigators say they found sexually explicit images of young girls on his work computer. According to police, 51-year-old Jeffrey Lynn Walters had more than 50 obscene files on his computer. They were tipped off by another city employee who found video of an underage girl showering in the group drive of the Health and Human Services Department. Police arrested Walters, who admitted to using his computer for child pornography. He also said he may have dropped that video onto the group drive by accident while trying to delete it. State representatives casting the final vote tonight on a bill to ban so-called partial birth abortions in Texas. Senate Bill 8 makes performing the procedure a state jail felony. Facilities are also required to cremate or bury the fetus, which is in violation of some religions. It also prohibits sale or donation of fetal tissue obtained through an elective abortion. That bill now heads to Governor Greg Abbott's desk.